I think we're live.
Spooky, scary skeleton.
It helps if I unmute myself, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're watching Tanner's Haunted Secrets
on the Outline Network.
What they say.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a secret sound hidden deep within the center of the earth. Until you listen closely enough, you can hear it. And it sounds like razors through flesh. We are merely here to turn up the volume.
This is Maximus Christian Bryant with the Ohio Haunters Association, President, and you are watching Chainer's Haunted Secrets on the Owl Light Network.
Well, hello, and welcome to my corner of the freak show we call the haunted house industry. You're watching Chainer's Haunted Secrets. I almost said Field, but it's Chainer's Haunted Secrets tonight. And as much as I want to talk about my haunted house, this is an opportunity that we talk about other people's haunted houses and their haunting careers. And I am so excited. Dr. Raz is here from time to time, but we do have Friday, the wonderful co-host. Ooh, he disappeared. It was magic. And we have our wonderful guests. We have Candy Joe and we have Josh. Joshua, Joshery. What do you want, Josh? Just Josh?
Josh is fine.
Okay.
I don't like Joshery, though. Joshery's going to have the ring.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. We will refer to you as Joshery while you are on this show.
He's like, thanks.
So, yeah. But we are so excited to have you guys here. I know that we started talking to you towards the end of last year to see when we could possibly get you going. Our books filled up really quick, and we had the Voodoo Queen on last episode, and she absolutely was casting a spell. If I did not get you on the show, I was going to end up in one of her low jars.
She'll do it.
Yeah, she will.
She will.
We are really super excited to have you. And, as soon as we started the show, we had people already popping up saying, hello, hey, I'm watching. And, it's really great because, you are not just a person that is a haunted house operator. You're a actor, you're an actress. You're also one of the people on TikTok that does a whole bunch of different makeup. And I'm referring to Candy. I'm not talking about Joshua or Joshery.
Yeah,
or
Joshery doesn't do makeup yet. We're not going to rule it out.
Some people can do makeup, some people can't. And I'll tell you now, I'm not a makeup person. My character has always had a half face. But we are so excited to have you here, and it just looks like everybody keeps on popping in and popping out. We are a live show, and we have to love when you're a live show. You can't always go back, and if something is interfering with our internet, we might disappear. But we hope that your internet stays fully intact because we want to know more about you. So the first thing I want to know is what kind of haunted house you guys operate.
Okay. Do you want to tell a little bit and then I'll come sweeping in?
So we operate a home haunt. It migrates between our front yard and our backyard, depending on the weather. Some years we get access to the backyard. Some years we don't get access to the backyard because it only rains in October.
Texas. But okay, I didn't know he was ending right there. I was like, okay, there's going to be more. He's like, that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, Forrest Gump.
As I know, is all I got to say about that. But like you said, we are a home haunt. We did start in the beginning as just a display. And then, of course, it went to me saying, hey, I think we could do this. And he's like, okay. He goes, it's like, I get the ideas and he helps me follow through it. And then he keeps me on the safe side, too, because there's no telling what I'd have us into. So then we went to a walkthrough, just a little walkthrough where the kids could just kind of walk through and look at the stuff. And then from there, I was like, man, if we did this, if we had this little walkthrough, what if we did this? So every year we've expanded and expanded and expanded. So now we take up an area, what do you call that, between the houses?
The easement?
The easement between our house and our neighbor's house, and that's our queue. And then it goes into the facade is our entry point, and that kind of starts at the fence that goes into our backyard, and then we take up our whole entire backyard. So we're home hunters. That's my love. That's my joy. And I have a special place in my heart for all home hunters. We try to operate as professionally as we can. And that's a lot where Josh comes through because he knows he's the guy, he's the builder, he knows the carpentry and all the things. And so we run it safe and just on the pro side as we can. We're completely volunteer. We're completely free. It's for everyone in our community. And a big part of us is just to keep the haunt spirit, Halloween, and all that goes with that. Just keep it alive and fun. And, because a lot of people, there are neighborhoods where there's not even any trick-or-treating anymore. It's just kind of gone. And so to me, that is so sad. So it's like, what can we do to keep the haunt industry and all that encompasses from, home haunts to the biggest pro attraction there is? What are the little things that we can do just to keep that excitement for for other generations coming up? And that's a big thing with our kids, all the kids in our neighborhood. We go from extremely kid friendly to a little more PG-13. And we do that very carefully, and it worked. This past year was the first year that we kind of dipped more into the PG-13 stuff, but the way we had it set up, and I don't know if y'all want me to get into all of those details yet, it worked really well. So we're excited about what haunting will look like for us as we just keep continuing to grow and expand, and my wild ideas and Joshua being like, okay, all right, yeah, this is crazy, but I think we can make it happen.
I feel like on the back of his shirt, it should say Joshua one time. Just putting that out there.
I'm down for it.
So I know that when you're starting out a haunt, there's so many things you got to think of, but when it comes down to haunted house haunted houses that are done at your own home, it is really nice because you just basically throw stuff together, see what you can do, and you kind of take a moment to think about, okay, well, how am I going to make this better? And that it kind of keeps on rolling around. Now, do you guys change up a lot every single year from the previous year?
Much to everybody else's aggravatement and annoying aggravation, is that not a word?
Aggravation.
It is now, as
Aggravation.
much
It
as
is now.
Joshery is.
It's a word. now.
Joshery. Aggravation
Yeah, there you go.
and annoy. I like to have a new theme every year. And I write a story that I usually start this month in a month of February. Of course, I have my thoughts rolling around and things jotted down beforehand. And February is the month that I sit down and actually start writing the story. And so we have a backstory through every single haunt that we have. The only people who really read it, and I usually get carried away and it's an extensive story, but is of course us, our scare actors, which we have no pro haunt in the world could ask for the volunteers that we have in our little home haunt. We have the most amazing people, and particularly I want to shout out Molly Cruz and Alicia Mullen and her brother Andy Mullen. We could not do what we do without them. They're absolutely incredible, and they put in their blood, sweat, and tears like we do. And it's their haunt as much as it is our haunt, and they love it like we do. And so we love them even more. But when you said being a home haunt, you can kind of like throw something together and see what happens. Oh Lord, Paul, baby child. If that were only the case, we build. Oh my God, we are constantly building. It is like and it's 365 pretty much on building. We have the 4x8 walls. We do everything we do. I think you guys have some pictures where we do the facades. We carve them, we paint them, we do all the things. So it's a little more than just kind of we don't just throw a skeleton and a jack-o'-lantern out there and be like, boo.
So it sounds like you take this a lot more extreme than a lot of home haunts, because I know a lot of home haunts, they'll go and say, oh, you know what? Let's see what spirit has to offer. And I'm really glad that you guys take it to a new level, because that's what keeps people coming and guessing, what are you building this year? What are you doing? This and that. And, that's always one of the best things about home haunts. One thing is that you get a chance, you get to see the creativity by a small community. And I know that you guys don't get paid for your time. So what really keeps on making you go back to this every single time?
Oh, for me, I don't know. Josh will probably say I make him do it. But for me, it is just an absolute love for it. Like I love everything about it. I love the fantasy of it, the imagination of it, the creativity of it, just everything haunt related. I absolutely love and adore. I don't know. I can't imagine not doing it. It would leave like an enormous hole in my heart if I were not in some way, form, or fashion haunting. And so, yeah, for me, it's a love. And people don't understand that. Like, they don't get it. They're like, it's not just for me. It's a passion, and I love it. I get to be creative, and I get to explore that in ways that other people don't really get to explore their creativity. Within a haunt, there's not a whole lot of boxes. You can just really get outside the box. And I love that. And that's one thing. I go to Josh, I get these Joshery, sorry. I beg your pardon. I get these ideas and I'm like, oh my God, okay. This is what I'm thinking. I would love if we could XYZ. And then he kind of puts his mind to it and he sees, okay, is this something that we can logically do, on our own, or do we just need to shelve this for later? But I will say it has grown more and more and more on him, because now sometimes he picks up the ideas and he's like, I think we could make, and I'm like, oh my God, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I think we could do that. So the haunt bug has bitten him just as much as it has bitten me. So he's Josh Ree's coming around a little more to it. He does not act per se as a character. He's like the everything guy. He's the security. He's the behind the scenes. If something happens, we have to pause, and he'll take care of all of that. Unruly people that come through, he takes care of that. He gets water for all the haunt actors and all the people in the front. So he's constantly boom, 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 running all over, even though he's not in character makeup. And then he squeezes in between like our actor places to get in some scares every now and then as well, because he loves it just as much as everybody else.
Oh yeah, who doesn't like scaring people?
I know, right? That's what we do.
So whose idea was it in the beginning? I'm going to say it was not Josh's.
No, I have other things to do with my time. It was Candy. I mean, she enjoys kind of creating that scene and that she had in her head and playing it out for the community. You said something earlier about the small community gets to see what you do, and that's one of the fun things about what we get to do as we're moving into setting up the haunt, is that the neighborhood sees that and they're like, oh, and they'll stop and they're like, what's going to be this year, right? Or they'll say, hey, look, they're setting up, I'm so excited, and they'll just tell us how much they enjoy it. And I think that's one of the things that drives that.
That's how we get paid.
Yeah.
That's how we get paid, and their love for it and their excitement for it. That's our payment.
Yeah. But yeah,
So-
it was definitely Candy first.
So one of the haunts that we kind of took over from Chainer's Field of Screams was one that was in Union City, Indiana. They were moving, they had to get everything taken care of, and when they were trying to get everything taken care of, they wanted to sell piece by piece, and they knew we were Charity Haunt, so we went ahead and talked to them, and for $500, all their stuff came over to us, which was awesome. And their community was so awesome into it that they were in a cul-de-sac, and they actually had to shut down the cul-de-sac area because when their haunt operated, they actually had food trucks that were setting up and little trinket stores that would pop up, and it was like a really big community boost. I mean, how big does yours get? Does it just go outside the haunt, or is it just right now just your home haunt?
Well, okay, we live in the area, the neighborhood we live in, we are under an HOA. So that means we play nice. I don't want to make anybody mad. In the neighborhoods, there's always the Karens. We're very respectful of the noise ordinances at the certain times and crowd control and all the things. So we can't really bring in a lot of things like that. I mean, at this point, if we did something like that, we might just really have to go and have a sit down with the mayor and everything else. But at this point, that's just what we do. We are the haunt. We keep the crowd. We really worked last year on perfecting the queue. So it kept we kept our movement where we were, I don't know, was it about every 3 minutes?
Yeah.
About every 3 minutes that we were letting the next people in. So the crowd wasn't just crazy. And it goes, I don't know. We have at any given point, there's probably at least 50 people though in our queue, at least at any given point throughout the night. But
there have been as many as 300 just lying down the road waiting to get waiting to get in.
That's when we decided
Oh,
we
yeah.
got to do something with our queue. Like we're really going to have to put our brain power into taking care of that, because things like that, when you're in an HOA, is the first thing that can get you shut down. Is like the crowd getting too big and maybe unruly. So we really work. We have some things that we implemented last year. As far as communication wise, we all have, everyone at every point in the haunt has a walkie. So we are all connected with communication at any given time. But we created like a little go light, so we would know when to send in the next. So we were constantly just moving on that 3-minute whatever.
And it was like a cordless doorbell.
Yeah, that's what we used.
And once they hit a certain point, you chime the doorbell and a light would pop on. It would let the person that was controlling the entry in the queue know that, okay, we're ready.
Let the next one's going in. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, we have popcorn, and of course we give out like little swag. We have Spooked on Spurlock stickers that look like our shirts, and we do candy and little things like that throughout the thing. But everybody loves the popcorn. We always have a line for the popcorn. So we just do stuff like that, like that's out in the queue area. So
scare videos.
Yeah, we have those playing. Like we have a projector set up that plays the previous year's scare cam videos. We have scare cams throughout the whole place. So we play the previous year's scare cams on a projector out by the queue. So as people are going through, that kind of keeps them focused, and it keeps down a lot of the riffraff that can have, I don't know what else say.
The mischievousness.
That a crowd like that can, cause, especially with some of the younger kiddos. But that gives them something to focus on. They have their popcorn. They're watching the scare cam videos. They're getting the build up of the facade. It kind of looks like a big old creepy house. And it's just, that's what we do.
I think some of the fun part though in that queue is that some of the people will recognize themselves from the previous year in the video, and they're like, "That's me."
They love that.
We want to make sure that you know that the Voodoo Queen is watching, because she's made a few comments, but she's like, please let her know. Please let her know that I am here.
Yes, she's my girl. She's my soul sister from another mister.
I miss you, Angela. You need to be here.
Love her so much.
She is absolutely wanting to be at the haunt this coming up weekend, but she just didn't know if everything was going to work out, because she wanted to see Betty Bad Bag come to life.
I miss her. I need her here.
She's absolutely incredible and amazing. It's on my list to see her in action. I hope I can see her like in character as the Voodoo Queen. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
It's on my list. I'm gonna do it, Angela.
So when we get back to this here, do you have people that give you ideas for things that come up for the next couple of years, or is this solely your brain power melting down and pewing out, and Josh has just got to put up with this?
It's kind of a mixture. Go ahead. You look like you took a breath to say something. I'm like, what are they gonna say?
I think it really starts with the theme that Candy's concocting in her brain, and there is some creative latitude that we give our actors to develop their characters and kind of set some of the scenes up and give some inputs into those things. But we try to make sure that it stays on task, on theme. But yeah, the theme comes from Candy. Whether it was the Swamp Witch or the Rougarou or the Carnival, or as last year's Toy Story, that all started with Shop. started in her brain, and then it kind of developed from there, collaborating a little bit with our crew.
Well, okay, I'm a lover of all things horror. I read horror all the time. I love to watch it. I love horror. And as I get, with all that swirling around up here, you get some fun ideas. And so as I get an idea, I have a notebook. I keep a running list of all the ideas I have. And at the end of each haunt, I think of 2 of those ideas that would be very doable for us. I feel like invigorated to be able to write about it, because if we don't have a story, we don't have a haunt. We have started and said, this is the direction we're going. And then I have set to write the story and nothing is happening. And so I've had to change directions and go a different way. And then the story just really pours out on the paper. And I'm like, this is the direction we have to go. The story guides us. So, but usually I'll have 2 different ones. And so at the end of the haunt, we'll just kind of have a little meeting and everybody can kind of vote. It'll be like, okay, we have this or this. What are you guys thinking? And so we give that opportunity to our friends and the volunteers on a direction that they want to go. And I had learned, I love Alan Hops. I'm sure you guys maybe up in Ohio know of him. He's a really big deal down here in Texas. He's the one who owns Dark Hour. And I have his training DVDs, all the things. I have so much. He's like the guru for me, and I've followed him forever. But I admire him in the way that he does his haunt, and I have taken a lot of the things that he does and I've implemented them on our level as a home haunt. And so we have an actor page that I give out to everybody, and they get to build their character. They get to come up with their own story. Like, what is your character's backstory? Because not every character I write about has a backstory. The main character, we really go into their backstory, and that's pretty much laid out for the actor. But like the supplemental, the other characters who are all important, I kind of give that power to our haunt actors. What is your backstory? Like, you come up, you build this backstory. And the guests who come in know that? They won't. But that story and that empowerment that the actor had gives them that motivation, and it drives their acting. And it really takes it to the next skill. Instead of just saying, for instance, okay, you're a rag doll in the doll room, and they just sit there. Well, what does that mean to them? I don't know. So what we do is you take the time to build that backstory. Like, why are you a rag doll in this room? Like, what happened? Have you always been a rag doll? Were you something else? Like, what's your name? What's your story? And as they build that, it really, like I said, it drives their acting. It makes their whole scene better. They can bring things into that scene that goes with their backstory, and it doesn't conflict at all with our theme and the flow of the story. But it takes their acting and that scene to the next level, because they've put themselves into it, and they've given themselves that motivation of that character.
It gives them some of the ownership of it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And it helps them to maintain character in the scene. When somebody tries to distract you from that scene. Yeah. So they're able to kind of, how would, the rag doll with the bag over my head react if somebody says, well, you're not, a rag doll,
or you're not scary, or, whatever. So they can still interact in character with the customers, no matter what that is. And something else I had learned is if you can't scare them, entertain them. Like, entertainment is our goal no matter what. And that's so
a big thing right there.
Yes. So if you have somebody come in, and that's what we're always saying, you have somebody come in, not everybody is going to be, that's not going to be fair food for everybody. You may be able to make them laugh. You may be, whatever you do when that person comes in and you assess this person or this group, then you act towards that. You know what? How can I entertain this group that just entered my scene? Maybe I can just make them laugh. Maybe I can be funny, a smart aleca. Maybe I can scare them. So that's just a big drive. How can we entertain each person that comes into our haunt in whatever way? So I don't know. Did that answer the question? Because I'm like, what was the question?
You did a whole bunch of answering with a whole bunch of questions, and I just started you off. But you know what? I can't be the only one. I know the twinkle in Friday's eyes says that she's got a few things she wants to talk to you about.
Well, twinkle, twinkle, Friday. Twinkle, twinkle. Come on.
Oh, I always have questions. What has been like the most interesting or the most fun or the most needed thing, or all three, that you have learned recently about having your haunt?
Do you want to run first? He's like, take it away. He's gonna think about it. Okay. Well, the most fun thing that I've learned is to keep the joy of why we do what we're doing at center, front and center. This past year, we dealt a lot with people that, people are fickle. And we had 15 volunteers saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And at the very last minute, left us hanging. And we had to quickly pivot. And so I have learned to have a plan B, C, and D ready. And because you can't fully always count on people. But as we were going, I was feeling really nervous about it, really aggravated, because that doesn't just put pressure on me, but it puts pressure on everybody else too, because they're having to pivot and change a scene. Like at the drop of a hat, what are we going to do? Because this person has stood us up, so we're going to have to rework this. And I was letting the joy of what we were doing really and I said, I'm not doing this. I love what I do. And I was so scared. It actually made me fearful that I would lose that love for doing this. And I mean, once that happens, there's no reason to keep going, in my mind. And so I was like, no, I love this. This is like it's my baby. It's my little haunt baby. And I cannot allow other people's, I don't know,
life.
their life. Yeah, life does happen. But I can't allow that to rob me of the joy of what we're doing. So my big thing was learn how to pivot, learn how to give people grace, learn how to give myself grace, and just roll with it, because the guests don't know anyway. They don't know the previous plan. They don't know that somebody was actually supposed to be in this spot doing this thing. As they come through it, they're going to enjoy it regardless, because that's their first time seeing it. They don't know the previous plan. And so, like I had said, we have the most amazing crew in the world. And they were continually reminding, hey, it's going to be fun. Everybody's going to love it. It's going to be great. Just keep that, and they kept telling me that. And I was like, I know, but I'm just so frustrated. Mm-hmm. And so I really had to learn to just knock the butt out of it and just go with it and roll with it and keep the joy, and know that people are still going to be entertained. People are still going to love what they see, and their experience. And just to sort of keep a positive attitude about it. But it also made me say, we're going to rework some things. So my story and our haunt isn't so reliant upon people that, you guys know, you're in the industry. There are those that kind of repeatedly you can't count on. So I really reworked a lot of things for this 2025. And our crew, our like core crew, as I call them, the ones that are just committed. I mean, they are so committed. They are really I'm giving them a lot of rain this year. And I really think that's going to just really up the whole production that we do. Me kind of taking my foot off the gas with it a little bit, and that control, like I have to have it this way. It has to go this way. I've learned to kind of, okay, we've set it in motion. Let's let it roll and let's see what develops, and give more reign, more
Creative liberty.
power, creative liberty to the other people involved. And so that has renewed that like baby excitement in me again, like from the first haunt, being so excited to see what this is going to bring for us in 2025. I can't wait. I'm excited. So that's been a big thing. Have a plan B, C, D, E, F, and G, because plan A's rarely go off without a hitch. And that it doesn't have to be solely resting upon my shoulders. I have, like I said, the most amazing crew. I have this guy who does everything in the world, and it doesn't have to rest all upon my shoulders. And so I can kind of take some of that off. I can have more fun with it and enjoy it, even when it doesn't go off without a hitch, even if it doesn't go according to plan A. So that's been 2024 really taught me a lot in that arena.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
One thing I will say, you kind of had something right, and there was a wrong part about this. Jenny is not a haunter or a haunt owner or a haunt actress, or
I know
anything.
she's a writer.
She
Yes,
is.
I am an author, but I know what you mean by you can't always count on people, because I've been a part of the nursing facility drama, for lack of a better word. It's not all drama, but nursing. I've been in nursing home working as a CNA for a long time. You can't always count on the people. You can't always count on them showing up. And sometimes they just disappear completely.
Yeah.
So I know that sentiment well, but I am a haunt enthusiast that is here to learn and show others that you guys are just people that, not that you're just people, but you're people who have taken the time to learn and build and make amazingness as you've went. And
So-
have you thought about putting your haunt lore in like book form?
I know every year we talk about doing a video that we would show out there, but we
It never happens.
We run out of time.
It never happens. Every year we're like,
We
we're
have the
going to
best of
create.
intentions.
Yeah, we have the great intentions. I mean, the ideas we have would knock your socks off. Do they happen? No. But yeah, every year we plan on telling bits of the story that I write in video form, having the haunt actors kind of do little bits and pieces for social media, just to kind of build up that excitement. Hey, say this is what's coming, and just so they're getting like a a little snippet of the characters and the life and the reasoning behind the story. But
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. I mean, Kandy does take the time, and there's usually a 4, 5, 6, 10 page story
12, 20
story behind it, right? That kind of sets the tone for what we're creating this year.
novella.
I think this year we got as close as we ever were to a video by the audio that we used in the first cue, one of the first stop scenes, where it kind of gave you the story behind what you're about to walk through, and the descent into madness with the story. But yeah, I think that is probably something over the next couple of years we probably have a small book.
Yeah, we did. Here's another shout out for the Texas Haunters Convention, which is, oh my God, we love it. We absolutely love going there, and we sign up for all the classes. and everybody on the floor, like we have people now, we've been going so long that we have to see, we have to visit. But last year we met a new haunter who had some classes, and his name is Joey, and I feel bad that I should have went on and got his last name, but all over everything in social media, he's Joey. And he acted at Not Scary Farm, and he is in the Wichita Falls area now. He's constantly creating. But we took a couple of classes with him, and we really enjoyed him. The second class we took with him, we had an opportunity that we just had one-on-one. It was me and Josh, and then Joey. And he gave us a great idea, because he specifically said, like, lay out your haunt. Tell me exactly. Tell me all about it. Tell me about your storylines. Tell me what you do. And so we did. And he gave us this really great idea that he was saying, like, and pro haunts do this as well. They have their big main characters that the haunt by those main characters. And so he said, why don't you take one of your ideas and build on it every single year? So even our themes that we have had, I mean, we had the Witch of the Wood, we had the Rougarou, we had the carnival, then we had kind of a makeshift toy shop because we got rained out, but we still went on. And then we had the actual toy shop. He said you could still take all those themes, but have like a couple of your main characters, and that's their timeline that they're going through the different things. So you can kind of keep some main characters and build on those. And we really like that idea. And so that's something that we're running with, not this year, but in 2026, that we will begin that. And everything, all of our themes kind of flow around Spurlock. And because we're spooked on Spurlock, and that's something simple. I love alliteration. As an author, you probably understand that. But Spurlock is the street that we live on, and so we have spooked on Spurlock. But we're taking Spurlock, and we're really driving a history behind this fictional place that we've created, that's Spurlock. So our next few haunts are really going to work on a timeline that has to do with that. And that's all I will say about that, because I play my cards really close to my chest on themes and stories and all the things. But yeah, Texas Hunters Convention is like gold. I mean, we've learned so much from them. We have everybody from pro hunters to Homa hunters like us, and then even just hunt enthusiasts. And there's something that you can learn from everybody. And that convention proves it. And we go in ready to learn everything that we can from them. And so we take all the nuggets, and we come back and we implement them into what we do.
That is awesome. And I'll tell you, I was trying to get somebody to watch, and he said that he was super, super busy, and he apologizes, but he wants to watch this later on when he gets a chance. Mike Ross says hello.
Mike.
I'm sure you remember good old Mike Ross, the Reverend Gravedigger.
Oh, you're the Gravedigger. Yes. Hey, Mike. Yes. And yeah. They were at 2 years of the Texas Hunters Convention that we were at. I didn't realize that until he came up into one of my lives on TikTok, and I was like, wait, no, I know who you are. Yeah, because I've seen them at Texas Hunters Convention. So yeah, Mike knows how incredible that institution is. So we absolutely sing all the praises for Texas Hunters Convention.
It's absolutely on my to-do list. I just gotta get myself buckled around and be able to go there. I've been to Texas one time in my life, and I quite enjoyed being there. It was kind of funny because a woman kept on saying something I didn't understand. Her husband came around the corner, and he looked at me and goes, "She wants to know where you hail from because you have an accent." And I said, "I have an accent? Well, I guess down there I do."
Yeah.
But I will tell you, Mike says hello, and as soon as I said who was on the show, he said, "I wish I could, but I gotta get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Just can't
Woo, get some
can't
sleep,
watch
honey.
it right now." But when we were talking about Friday not being a haunter, I also wanted to point out that one of the biggest people that watch these shows is a woman that she is actually, and she'll never ever post anything. She'll never say a single thing. I know she won't, but she's in a wheelchair, and she really didn't know much about the haunted house industry until she actually met me. So one of the main pushes for this show was actually so she could get to listen to all the haunters, all the makeup artists, all the home haunters, because she quite enjoys it, and her being in a wheelchair does not allow her to go to a lot of things like this. So she pretty much stays right where she lives. So just wanted to point that out, and I always want to tell her thank you very much for being a loyal watcher. If she doesn't watch this tonight, and she's not watching it tonight, she will watch it tomorrow or the next day, because she knows every other weekend we do have one of these shows. But now Friday, you got that twinkle in your eye, almost like you want to press some buttons and bring up some questions and some pictures and some videos. What are you thinking back there, girl?
Would you rather start with me playing the videos and then you telling us about them, or going through the pictures first?
You just roll that beautiful bean footage, and we'll follow your
All right,
lead there.
Jake.
All
Hear
right.
that? We're using your catchphrase, and you ain't doing nothing about it.
If you be the cash, I'll be the rubber band. Okay. If you be the cash,
I'll be the rubber band, you'll be the match, I will be a fuse.
That is our rock walls that we built this year for the entrance into our swamp laser situation.
It's kind of like the courtyard.
Yeah, it was the courtyard leaving the toy shop. And so it was all set up. We had there may be some pictures, because now I can't remember what all that I sent for you or to you. But yeah, that's another thing that we're just constantly learning techniques and ways to just really make it immersive, but really put the person in the scene. Like, I don't want people to come through and be like, "Oh, this is a haunt built in the backyard." Like, as soon as they enter the facade, that front door, our goal is to put them in that story. It's not a backyard anymore. It has become the toy shop set in 1940s Germany, or we've entered the crazy carnival. You know, I don't want them to see the backyard at all. Like, I want to make it immersive, put them in the scene, put them in the story.
Yeah, they kind of lose themselves. I think, though, we start off probably where a lot of the home hunters start off is what can we do cheaply? And the wall panels that we put up with black plastic,
Yeah.
You know, the first few years, over the next few years, we started, you know, investing more, especially when you're doing it for free for your community, and you're bankrolling it yourself. You kind of got to build into those things over time.
He's bankrolling it itself.
But,
yeah. And lumber is not cheap at all. That's the most expensive thing that we put into our haunt is lumber.
Lumber, and I don't know, the insulation is not cheap either.
That's true.
But I think that's where we kind of grew a lot this year was we changed out, not all of them, but a lot of the wall panels we've upgraded to things like that was just in the video, or we have another video on there where we're upgrading some more with what was it, drop cloth that we spray painted
to look like
wallpaper. But it's to kind of encapsulate the scene. Over top, we took like weed screen to kind of close off the top so you're not seeing the sky, to make it look like a room, a hallway, and kind of really capture people into the scene. So that was one of our upgrades, and that turned out awesome. That's not me. That's Candy and her crew of people that work, throughout the year, kind of upgrading those scenes.
Yeah, we want to, and I think this is not a hot take, but as soon as people enter, we want to suspend their reality. And when you do that, they're pretty much like putty in your hands to do whatever, to entertain them in whatever way, if you're going to scare them or you're going to create comedy in some way. When you suspend them, you have them enter that suspended reality. They're not in a backyard. They're in this, whatever you're telling them it is. And that's another thing I learned from Alan Hops. I keep saying, this is like, I'm not sponsored by the man, but he's like, you tell them what it is and they'll believe it. So that's up to us to create in the best way we can. And that's one thing we keep doing. We keep trying to improve our techniques, and we do that at conventions and then YouTube. I mean, I get an idea, I can build this or whatever, and I hit up YouTube.
I think that's one of the great things about the community is that they love sharing that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Hops has thousands of videos on how to create scenes or props or different things that he could sell, but almost all of it you can get on YouTube for free. Yeah. And that's one of those, again, great things about the community that we're a part of.
And I'm gonna find him and put him in the Chainers group. Viewers, if you would like to see more about him, I will find his videos and add him later.
He's amazing. It's stilt like on the stilts. Stiltby Studio is his YouTube, and his whole thing is just to keep the haunt industry alive and going, and sharing is caring. Like anything, and we incorporate this too because we have another home haunt that is near us. We don't hog a great idea to ourselves, like, oh, this is amazing and people thought it was great. We share, like, we learn from them, they learn from us, and what that does, it just makes the industry that much better. So like our success is their success, is your success, is around the world success, because you are pouring in to the haunt industry and keeping it cutting edge and keeping it exciting and keeping it fun. That's more people that's going to be interested in a haunt, no matter where they're at, if they're down in Texas, if they're in Ohio. It's just keeping that love and that excitement and that fun going. So yeah, we share what we do. We don't hog any of it.
I agree.
So I've been beating my head senselessly, and I could not figure out why in the heck Alan Hops sounds so freaking familiar over and over and over. As soon as you said Alan Hops, I've been processing over here and trying to figure out what the heck. Alan Hops was at Midwest Haunters Convention, and he actually has one of our business cards. I was hoping that he would give us a call to get on the show. He said it sounded like a pretty interesting thing of being able to do. Alan actually took a challenge at Midwest Haunters Convention, and he had so much time to paint up masks over and over and over again.
Oh, he's a genius. Yeah.
So after everything, I think I submitted a friend request to good old Alan Hops here, and we're going to see if me and him can chit chat.
That's great.
We've talked before.
They hit up all the conventions. The Dark Hour is at everything. Yep. And of course there's Trans World coming up, and they're constantly building and creating for the next convention and then also for the haunt there in Plano. It's incredible. It's incredible what they do.
And their scare actors have classes.
Mhm.
I mean, they're some of the top in the industry.
They are. We're just really giving a plug here for Dark Hour.
Well, I'll tell you. Here in 2 weeks, we have one more show before I go to Midwest Haunters Convention, because I am going to be dog tired, but I am driving down the Midwest Haunter or Trans World.
Trans World.
I'm going to be driving down the Trans World with the owner of Carnage, and we're going to go there. So if I can spot Mr. Hops again, I will be more than happy to look at him and tell him, "Hey, here's another business card. We've had people plugging you left and right on our show, and I can't tell if you're idol or what you are, sir. But please make someone happy. Come on the show for a little bit."
Guru. He is the guru. Is there any way I could take before you do the next film and kind of give because I want to give another shout out, but kind of the backstory that even got me interested in haunting?
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay, well, I grew up in a very conservative household where Halloween just wasn't even a thing. And I used to always tease my mom because, they were all like, "Oh, Candy and her Halloween," And I would be like, "You know what, y'all's fault. Y'all didn't let me celebrate it as a kid. Now I'm trying to catch up for all those years." And so I'm just all hook, line, and sinker. But in the previous town that we lived in, the school did a marching band fundraiser. And for that, they did a big haunted house that was put on by, it was usually a band mama that orchestrated it. She was in charge. She did the whole thing. Those band mamas, they hold the world. I'm telling you, they do all. But, and then all the marching band volunteer to be the actors. And then they get some parents to come in and help. Well, none of my kids, I still had really littles, so they weren't even in high school or anything. And this was the time that a good friend of mine, I went to college with her, and then we lived in the same town. Her name is Damian Hughes, and give a little shout out to Damian. But she approached me and she said, "Would you be interested in helping with the haunt this year?" And I was like, "Sure, okay, yeah, I'll do it." Didn't know what I was getting into. But they had the old school gym, which is like 3 stories. One of those old, the old buildings are all ginormous, right? And they were given permission. It wasn't in use. It was just the historical whatever of it being there, to create the haunt there. And I was a tour guide who, along the way, we come up with our own dialogue with each group as you go along, to kind of build a story. We weren't given a script. They were like, run with it, make it exciting, build up, the excitement as you enter. So I was like, okay, well, that was fun for me because I've always been the give me a stage kind of person. I've been the shy person. Now listen, I'm shy on one end, but if you put me on a stage, I will get into character, and that's how I act out of the shyness. I'm gonna do it up. And so, oh my God, I fell in love with it. Like going, and it was nonstop. The amount of people who come through there was insane. People telling us that it is the best haunt they had been to, and there were some really significant pro haunts in the area. And people had compared ours, I'm just going to call it ours, to theirs. And they were like, y'all are the best. It's amazing. And so I did that 2 years. And I always say that is when the haunt bug bit me. That was it. That started my love for it. It got my imagination going. And that's when we moved here and we did the display. I was not satisfied because I already had that coursing through my brain, my veins, that haunt high. And so I was like, okay, we cannot just do a display. We cannot just put this out there and do a display. And so that's when we started building into what we are now. But anyway, that's sort of a little bit of the backstory as to why I even like what we do.
And that is awesomeness incarnate.
It was a good time.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to do the next video?
Sure.
That is so cool. I am
Isn't
sending
that
that to
fun?
my sister.
That's awesome.
Is that the only lace that you've done, or have you used different other patterns throughout the hunt in that way?
When we first started that, I was like, okay, what is a frugal, I won't say cheap, but what is a frugal way that we can do these wallpapers? Because I'm wanting to get rid of this blasted black plastic. I was like, okay, this was great for the beginning, but we need to upgrade. I want it more immersive. I want to suspend the reality better. And so I was looking for materials that are sturdy, that can do what we need them to do. And so I had found the drop cloth at Harbor Freight and figured out, okay, I can get 3 out of that. But I bought plastic stencils to start with. So the first year we did that, we did the plastic stencils quickly and with the spray paint. But that year I was like, we ain't doing this again. We are not. It was a headache. I had 2 of the our actors who invested their time that whole summer helping me do those walls, and we were all cursing it by the end of it. It was such a headache to use those stencils. And then I had actually gotten the idea for the lace tablecloth from Van Oaks. Like everybody knows Van Oaks, right? No, okay, y'all need to Google Van Oaks. He has a YouTube, and he is another absolutely brilliant guy, and he shares his knowledge. And so he shared using the tablecloth, just a simple lace tablecloth you can get off of Amazon, and using that as it's like a reverse stencil, yeah. And so I was like, hey, let's do that. That's way better than this little freaking plastic stencil that we used last year. And to line it up perfect, oh my God, such a headache. The walls still looked good, but this using the lace like this was just next level, and we could pop them out quicker and it looked better, all the things.
And it was beautiful and amazing.
Thank you. And Josh he's come up with the way of how to build the walls, how to anchor the walls, how to keep the walls standing, and all the things where they line up really good. And so, yeah. I don't know if you want to share anything on that.
Yeah, those wall panels, we made them out of 2x2s, but they were expensive, so we bought 2x4s and ripped them all down, and then we kind of created a jig on the workbench so we could get very consistent, with the exception of when we bought shorter studs.
That was my bad.
All the wall panels are identical, even the center bracing. So it kind of helps us be able to have a very uniform look. But as there would, I mean, then we can kind of get the angles. If Kandy wants kind of more of a round room, it's easier with those to be able to kind of screw them together, make sure that you're structurally sound, and it'll survive the wind and the weather that we get here
in October.
But yeah, Twitch wreaked havoc this year and set up. Oh,
It really did. We fought it big time this year. The weather.
She fought it while I was off.
Yes.
And then I told her, stop. I'll be home this weekend. We'll throw it together. But yeah, no, the wall panels are great because it helps us be able to divide it off. And when we started off with the black plastic, I mean, it served its purpose. It looked cheaper, but over the last several years, we've been kind of upgrading them and making them fit into the scenes that we're doing and kind of make it more immersive for our guests.
I'll tell you, talking to you guys, there's a lot of different things that you guys have picked up from all over the internet, and I am really glad because sometimes when you're a creator, you try figuring out, who's actually watching it, who's actually trying this and that, and whenever you come across somebody that's actually enjoying this stuff, it makes you happy and this and that. So I'm going to reach out to Van Oaks and tell him, hey, just so you know, we have some super fans, and I didn't know about Van Oaks, and I apologize for not knowing about him because here's some of the stuff that he's been doing, and it's all on YouTube, and I think it's awesome because
incredible.
There's a friend that he messaged. He made a comment back here. It's Sean. Sean actually has a haunt called Spookery. It's a Boy Scout camp haunt. And he always says that he is a pro haunt on a home haunt budget. So he makes all his props. He makes this and that unless he can get his hands on it. And I think it's really awesome. So, he made a comment about how that looked on your wall. So he might be taking that to Spookery. But that is one of the things I'm really glad that this show is able to do is bring people, hey, check this out. Hey, this and that. Before we get into anything else right now, I think we have to take our commercial break.
We're already at your commercial break? Woo! We trucking
I know, right? We're at over an hour into this.
And only two videos in, yeah.
I know. If we don't get this commercial out of the way, I think somebody's going to beat me with a stick somewhere.
You better do it.
Hey, we're going to do a commercial break, and we'll be right back with you guys. Usually it's about 3 minutes, so go up, get something to drink, or watch these wonderful advertisements.
Let's roll the beautiful fame footage.
There you go.
Greetings and shabebans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Reductibus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh. And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Dorking Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Octopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
Oh, we're back.
So we're back, and before we do anything special, Friday, did we have anything that we would like to show for Hell's Dungeon? Because that's this weekend.
Oh, yes. Okay, for Hell's Dungeon. Ready to go. Right there. Come on February 13th. Basically Friday. Or is it Thursday? Well
actually,
the 13th is. That's
13th.
tomorrow.
Hellbound Horror starts up tomorrow night, and it's $10 again. And what it is actually a comedy show. You're able to watch it and see how well my craftsmanship is, because I actually put together the stage that they will be performing. We'll see how that works, because I'm going to take over that stage on the 14th and the 15th during the Till Death Do Us Part Halloween or Valentine's Day special haunted house at Hell's Dungeon. And then if you're a couple and you want something fun to do while spending some quality time together, you guys can do the dinner and a murder mystery, which is on February 15th. And it is $60 for 2 tickets to do the dinner and see the wonderful show there. And right after that, Hell's Dungeon's second part of Till Death Do Us Part. And it will be open from 8 till 12. And I know some of my wonderful crew is going to be down there. And I think on the main stage is going to be Betty Badbag, which she, whatever that critter is waiting to eat chicken wings and throw bones at you.
Yes.
So yeah. But we had to absolutely get that out there, because Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And as much as I love everybody, I love haunts a lot more. I am sorry. My heart belongs to the haunted house industry. And that's why I'm the host of Chainer's Hidden Secrets. Haunted Secrets. Jesus criminy. I can't say nothing. You know what? Joshery, you need to help me out here once in a while, buddy boy.
I don't know.
So we're going to get back
for us.
You know what my favorite thing to do is when I go out to eat? When they say, "Is there anything I can get you?" First words out of my mouth is a good therapist. Or when they look at me and say, what do you need? I tell them a good therapist. Or, I need some good mental or physical help. But I feel like the haunted house industry absolutely feels my pain, suffering, and everything else. Hey, there's somebody new.
That's
hey,
Molly
how's it going?
Cruz. That's Molly.
Well, hello there, Molly.
That's Molly Wally Doodle. She's amazing. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's one of our core crew I was telling you about.
Hold on
I
here.
mentioned her earlier.
Did you say Molly Wally Doodle?
That's my lovely pet name for her, Molly Welly
Oh
Doodle.
my gosh! Can we take that and slam Josh into that? He can be Joshy Washy Doodle.
He might not like it as much as Molly endures it, but I mean, yeah, who's stopping you?
Not Josh. He's in Texas.
Josh said it's your show. I mean, do what you need.
You know, as long as you got a good smile on your face and you're enjoying it, I love to have some sense of humor, and that is part of the industry. We can't always scare everybody, but dang if I ain't going to entertain you.
Absolutely.
What is that?
Look at us. Look at us. That's when we were Kiss. I was the spaceman down there. I'm telling you, that was a wild TikTok live. It's something about being Kiss made us just crazy. I'm telling you, it was next level. Next level. You would have just had to seen it. I can't. I don't even know. We like embodied Kiss or something, and it was got a little crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Molly, I still see her popping up down there. I guess she's texting, but she's amazing, and she's fun to take to the Texas Hunters. Last year was the first year that we took a crew, and Molly Welly Doodle is the person everybody needs. There's probably not a single soul that was at the Texas Hunters Convention that did not know that we were spooked on Spurlock by the time we left. She was out there meeting the people. Hey, I'm at a hunt, spooked on Spurlock. She had people I didn't even know calling me boss lady. They'd be like, "Oh, it's the boss lady." I'm like, "Wait, I'm boss lady." But I mean, she was putting our name in everybody's ear around there. She is the person that you need to get the word out. So yeah, she was out there doing her thing, and that's her nature. She doesn't meet a stranger. That also makes her a great hunt actress because she just does. She has no inhibitions. She just goes for it, just whatever.
They're asking about Greg.
So you asked a question earlier about what you find fun in the haunt. I find fun hiding Greg in the haunt when he's not supposed to be in the haunt.
He's kind of almost like an Easter egg
and he's been in every one of them.
Every hunt.
And he's the only store-bought animatronic, and he's like a scarecrow that'll pop up and tell you he'll get his soul. And we listen to that 3 or 4 things that he says so many times this one year. We nicknamed him Greg, and Molly was saying, "Shut up, Greg." We even have shirts made last year.
Alicia, one of our other amazing hunt actresses, she made T-shirts for all of us that have Greg. It has like the scarecrow, and it says, "Shut up, Greg."
Yeah.
We're the only ones that get it, but we love the shirt.
But
Okay.
I love involving Greg in something that he's not supposed to be in. So I try to integrate him into the haunt.
And I don't even know where he's going to pop up. He just pops him up and great. And see, I get really like anal about that. I'm like, no, he doesn't even fit. Josh is like, this is where Greg's going to live. You let Greg live right there.
Greg had his own scare cam this last year.
And Greg had
he scared the crap out of a lot of people.
Yeah. So Greg is our beloved cheap animatronic that it was the first. He's the only animatronic we've ever bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we keep him. He keeps showing up. As long as he keeps working, I guess he's beloved. We love Greg. He's a part of the crew. Greg is a part of the crew. So yeah. So Molly had to shut up, Greg. We did get sick of hearing that thing. Oh my God, it drove us crazy.
So I will tell you guys a story since you brought up something like this. Years ago, I used to be at a haunt. And the boss decided he was going to buy this thing. It was called the Farmer or it was called the Scarecrow something from Spirit. And I am a person that doesn't like animatronics. I will try my hardest to get rid of as many animatronics as I can because all they do is over and over and over and over. He knew it was going to bug me. He knew it. But he placed it right in my area. And he said, well, you ain't got nobody to put in that spot. So I put that scarecrow thing in there. And The scarecrow had a farmer's head in it, and it would go, "The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell is going straight to hell," repeatedly over and over. And I finally looked at him and I said, "I hope the rain says hello, because I don't want to put you underneath anything." So I seriously didn't. And the boss went back there and seen that thing was left out and there was a rainstorm coming. And the next weekend, that thing was put back in its place, and it had like straw and everything placed on it. And I thought, haha, it's not going to work. Nope, that thing worked again. And I just was like, man, it drove me insane. The best thing ever happened to that was when the boss decided he was going to mow the trail and found the power cord.
Oh,
Well,
those are replaceable.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Those are replaceable.
No.
He'll figure it out.
He ripped the wires right out of the thing. And I'm like, so back to all this fun stuff, because I know, we got pictures.
We have pictures. That's, I make a ton of stuff out of styrofoam. Our whole community, everybody knows that I do that. So they bring me, our garage has a lot of styrofoam in it right now. It's insane. But yeah, so I made this for the entrance of the toy shop. And that's just out of some old fence panels and a couple of styrofoam pieces glued together with great stuff, and I just aged it up. And it also has, I don't know if I have a picture in there, but some lights. What do you call those kind of lights?
LEDs.
Well, they're little LEDs. You can't really see them, but they're around.
Strip lighting.
Yeah, little strip lighting around it. So it lit up really well.
I think there's a picture of the facade.
Oh, that's gang. Looky there. So this also has our amazing neighbors who participate in this with us. They're down in the front right-hand side. She has the red shirt. Her daughter's in the little dress. And he's setting up on the right, not in the way edge. That's my son, who is an expert drop panel guy. I'm telling you, he has perfect timing with our drop panel. But
that's awesome.
They are the most amazing neighbors you could ask for. They're the ones who they live right next to us, and we use that easement between our homes. Yes, they just recently moved and broke our hearts. They didn't move far, so they're still here with us. But y'all better send some great thoughts our way that the next mover, the neighbors who come in there will be supportive of our endeavors, and so we'll see how that works out. But they, especially Erica, work in it, create, build. She does all the things with us. I think I have some videos of her also working, and just, it's a community thing, so there's some neighbors who are a part of our crew right there, and they still will be, even with them moved off. Let me see what we're looking at here.
Spider.
Oh, that's an old one. I don't even remember sending that one. Yeah, that was in the swamp one we did. That's like our second year, maybe. He was just up in the swamp. That was nothing exciting. Here is some of our core crew minus Molly. She's not in this one. This was
this year.
This was this past year, 2024. Alicia was our main character. She's over on the left. She was Selena Line, and she was the toy maker who just really lost her
mind.
She's great. She's one of those actresses too that just comes up on the spot with her dialogue like that. She always, you give her a character, she goes 110% beyond. She was our fortune teller when we did the carnival, and she actually looked up and learned Romanian phrases, legit Romanian phrases to say What
Oh,
happened?
that's taking it to a new level.
But the phrase that she used was "Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?"
And do you want to build a snowman? Do you want to build a snowman?
In Romania.
Hey, it sounded super creepy. Nobody knew. Nobody spoke Romanian that we know of. I told you we have the best. There is no pro attraction that has actors and crew as great as we do. And this is a whole group. You guys who are in the haunt industry know how the ages of 10 to about 15-year-old boys can be. Let me take a deep breath. But I mean, this is some kids for the community who like, oh my God, they've been coming, a lot of these since they were little, a lot smaller than they are now, but they loved Selena. And so they had to get a group picture with Selena out in front of the facade. And that's our facade there that they enter behind the red door.
Nice.
Oh yeah, this is the daylight picture. You can see the rock walls that kind of funnel you into the little courtyard scene.
Wow.
That is gorgeous.
And that's our
that first video that was Kandy making out of the those wall panels out of the insulation.
That's the inch thick insulation panels. And so I just carved it and used some techniques and just fun painting. Erica and Molly actually helped me paint all of those. And of course, everything looks great at night with lighting. It really puts you there. But that was our kind of courtyard area that funnels down into, if you can see further down there, the little tunnel that has all the vines. That's where we make our little
laser
effect. The little laser effect's really cool.
There's a video of that.
And that's Selena Line. That's Alicia. She was our main character this last year.
And there's the lighted sign.
Yeah, you can see, of course, that when you take a picture that it does crazy things with the lighting, but that's the toy shop sign. Oh, and we had some next generation haunters this past year. On the right is Ava. That's our neighbor's little daughter, who we did not know she had the ability she has to be so creepy. But she was in our doll area, and she said nothing. She had no dialogue, anything, but she creeped people out really well. We didn't even have to tell her, give her directions. She just went with it. She's amazing. And the little guy in the mask there, he's a neighbor kid who we've known since they were in diapers. That's little Tucker. And they both jumped in there. I was like, this is what we're going to do. This is part of what we're doing, is to just keep Halloween and the haunt industry alive and keeping it exciting and fun. So what better way to go ahead and let the littles who we knew we could work with, and they would, not run amok, join in and get hit by the haunt bug. And we had one more neighbor boy who joined us, but we don't have pictures of him. So and that's Erica. She filled in for Molly this night and was in the marionette room. Okay. And she did great. That's Erica. She's our neighbor, or was. I hate saying it in past tense, breaks my heart.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago when we did
we got rained out of the backyard.
Yeah. So this was actually set up in our front yard. So it was on a much smaller scale, but we still did it up. Everybody had a blast, had a great time. That's me, I think. Oh, and this is Alicia when she was
fortune teller.
The fortune teller. Yeah, she was Sybil. She was Sybil, the fortune teller. And she's probably saying a Romanian phrase right there. But she's also on a table that I made that is like a floating table. It looks like it's just floating. That was her.
Yeah, that's one of them baby rockers.
Yeah, little Mama Moo baby thing it's it's a whole thing how I built it. It's too long to describe it. Oh, these people, that's Miss Molly Cruz in the middle, and these guys with her are some Dark Hour. You can see the Dark Hour backdrop behind them. This is at the Texas Hunters Convention out on the floor. And that was the Dark Hour area, and those are a couple of Dark Hour hunters.
I so
Scare
did
actors.
that sunflower last year.
Yeah.
I had a whole field of them.
And that's Marilyn. She's one of our haunt crew, and she's with the Dark Hour crew there at Texas Hunters Convention. Oh, and that's Slim from Texas Hunters Convention. He's the mascot. He's on all the things, but of course he roams the halls out there, and we had to get a picture with him, and he thought it was great to just cover my face and put the gun to Josh's head. So
Josh didn't seem to mind.
No, he's rolling with it. Oh, Josh Shuri. We love Texas Hunters Convention, guys. It's amazing. And this is the year that we did the carnival. And on the left, we haven't had a picture of him yet. That's Andy. And our last year's haunt would not have happened without Andy. He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and got really sick of the staple gun.
And restapling and
restapling, yeah. So, and then that's Alicia by him, and me and Josh in the back, and Molly and Erica there in the front. Just amazing people, amazing actors. And that's Molly Welly Doodle. She was our face for our advertisement for 2024's haunt, the toy shop. And that's Zach, who was also our neighbor, Erica's husband. And Miss Dot is Andy and Alicia's mom. And for the past 2 years, she has kind of worked the front up there for us and kept the line going, her and Zach, and gives out the popcorn and the candy and the little trinkets and stickers and all the fun stuff. And this is these are greatly needed positions that some people don't think about. But without them, I don't know what we would do. So they're not actors. They don't get out there and do all the things inside the haunt, but they keep the things rolling out in front, like I guess what you would call front of house work. That is, oh my God, so needed. And they're both amazing and so much fun.
Yeah, and they help control the queue.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a repeat.
That's a repeat.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, and that's Miss Dot and Andy, one of our actors. That was kind of before we started. You can see the sun's still out.
On that one.
Yeah, he was a toy soldier who kind of like Sid's toys. He got torched, and this whole costume is from a young kid that's in his very early 20s named Fletcher, and he has the Appalachian horror. I'm sorry, I should have looked this up. A horror company. He makes masks, and he wanted to team up with us and create a character for our haunt. And everything Andy has on there, including the mask that's down in his hand, Fletcher made himself, distressed. Created the mask, he created everything else he kind of built in distress, but he sent that to our haunt as a gift. And so we have an original there by Fletcher, and he's just really awesome. We've met so many great people since we've been doing this. It blows your mind. And that's just one of our tables that the queue kind of goes in front of that, where they can stop and get their popcorn and get all the things. And then right after the tables, where we have our stanchions set up that kind of zigzag up to the front of the haunt. And we just have all the things out there, it's just pictures of that.
So the one picture with that table.
I'm sorry?
One picture of that table. Is there bricks under yet?
Yeah.
Those are bricks?
They're bricks. In between our houses, it goes
Water management.
Yeah, so the water, yes. And so we do not have a flat surface right in between our homes. When you get up to our fence where we have our facade set up, it flattens out, thankfully. But right there, the table would be sitting like this. So we were like, you know what? Let's just grab some bricks and just you do what you got to do.
Apparently, you have an Ashley Williams as well.
We have a what?
Ashley Williams. I have a cousin, Ashley Williams, and Ashley Williams says hi.
Oh, okay. I was thrown completely off. I thought we were talking about the picture with the bricks, and I was really confused. I'm so sorry.
Saying hi. Charles, Andy, Mullen.
Yeah, that's Andy.
That was me.
Yeah, Andy. He's an amazing. He's our amazing actor, but he builds. He does all the things. Our actors do it all. They come up and volunteer their time. They build. They put together. They set up. They do everything. They create. They throw out ideas. They have great ideas. They all the things.
Definitely couldn't do it without them.
No, yeah.
That's awesome.
Are you ready for the next video?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the original store toy maker and little Selena. And then as the pictures progress, it has Hans and older Selena. And you can see just on her face that it's misery. It was a very horrible thing. And then in the next picture that you see that Selena took care of business and got rid of Hans. And then the next picture is just Selena in front of the toy shop. So it kind of shows the progression without having to say anything. They can kind of see the progression of the pictures that kind of help tell the story.
Nice.
That is cool.
I think I fell in love.
Yeah. Different one.
I think I fell in love. I think I fell in love. I think I fell in love with a monster. Straight jacket hanging off the edge of your vanity. Don't be scared, you can see cause I'm in my insanity. Well aware that you pay me and your friends ain't a paying me. I don't care. I want you.
We just have a good time and we all join in together and build this thing and make it.
I wish I could get some of my volunteers to help on some of the projects.
I'm telling you, Kyle. We do.
Oh, I feed them. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I feed them. I'm still waiting for the one person to come down and come over and take down his tent from his scene.
Oh no. That picture that we had that had the whole crew in our home, everybody was sitting around for the picture. That was our Grinchmas Christmas party. So throughout the year, we like to do things that everybody
get together, play games.
Yeah. And
work on character development.
Yeah. That's another way that we can just help as a thank you to them for volunteering their time and loving this thing that we do as much as we do.
I think we're going to do our appreciation out by the lake this year.
Oh, fun.
We'll see how that goes.
We have one last video.
The line was alone, with no family nor friend. With the toy maker she lived until his life she dead. Though he was cruel, he taught her his trade. Selena learned fast the best toys she made. As her loneliness grew, her madness did thrice. No one would stay. Her heart turned to ice. In her workroom of horror, all her time she spent, making toys of victims, boys, girls, lady, and gent. Beware these halls where Selena still roams, where her victims are still trapped with their cries and their moans. She's looking for more bodies to chop and to cleave, and to make into toys so they will never, ever leave.
Go in there if you dare.
I dropped my dolly in the blood. Will you be my next dolly? They all leave. You can't! Don't leave! They always leave and never stay. I'm so sorry for you to stay.
That's actually a decent size.
Yeah, it's it's a pretty good walkthrough. I mean, there's a lot of different little turns and twists and things. That video, okay. I was not supposed to have to work the front door this past year, but because of the people who dropped out, I had to work front door. And so I said, I've got to get a walkthrough because every year I can't get a walkthrough because I'm doing 5,000 things. And so 2024 said, this is going to be the year that I actually get some content filmed. And so I arranged that to where I had people doing some things that I usually do so I would be free. That did not happen. So I said, let me get this going right now. Let me do a quick walkthrough, everybody, before people start showing up. So during that video, we did not have sound on. We did not have some lights on. We did.
That was the walkthrough that we're like, oh, we need to go turn that on and that on and that on.
So that walkthrough had it's a little lackluster, but you can tell what
we had
happened.
Fog machines that weren't working.
Yeah, and so that was like boom, like, but I have to do this walkthrough right now, guys, or we're not going to have footage at all of the walkthrough. So that's what that was. And Erica, who worked the marionette room, got thrown in that last minute because Molly had something come up that she had to do. So Erica was not even prepared, what to do as a marionette and everything. But she was such a trooper, and she jumped in there and she's like, "Yep, I'll do it." So, and then the poem that was read, I just took the story and tried to condense it into like just a very nursery rhymey type of a poem that could kind of give the people the idea of the story of Selena Line. So,
and that helped us pace the groups too.
because they stop in the marionette room. And after they leave the marionette room, which that whole thing is approximately 2 to 3 minutes. And then when they get out of that, or not the whole, like from the point they enter to the end of that. And as they left that room, the marionette actor actually triggers the light at the very front of the outside of the facade that signaled to me, because I had to work front door, to let the next group in. So that helped us pace perfectly every single time.
Unless they sprint.
Most of them didn't. We had one instance where we had to stop everybody because we had some parent drag their kid through that just was totally in tears on the ground crying over everything.
I'm not a fan of. I'm opposed to that.
And we had to kind of usher her out and try to get her to go through.
She completely stopped in almost every room, and so we had a hold up of the line. Josh was like, "You gotta, on the walkie." He's like, "We have a kid that we can't really get out right now. She's scared to death." And I always tell the parents that's one thing I don't want to do, because that has the opposite effect of what I want. When you just thoroughly traumatize a young child that is not ready yet, they're going to hate it. They're going to hate a haunt and they're never want to go back. And I always tell the parents, "Oh, they can stay with me and you guys go through and then y'all just, pick them up with you." Nope. They're going through. They just want to torture the kids and laugh about it, which, they're the parents. It's up to them. But that's just not the method that I love, because I'm like, I want everybody to love this. I want them to have a positive experience for Halloween and a haunt and all the things. But yeah, we had the year of the carnival, we had a lady.
We did have a sprinter.
We did have a sprinter.
And she bounced off of every wall, just sprinting through there.
And screaming, "Help me, please.
God, help me, help me."
I really felt bad. It was hilarious and it was great scare cam footage, but I kind of felt bad a little bit. But I'm like, it's a haunt. You kind of come in a little bit expecting that it's going to be a little creepy, but
But it goes back to how well it was built, because she ricocheted off of every wall panel that we had.
Everything stood firm.
And after she went through, we're like, we need to check and make sure everything's still standing, because she came through like a wrecking ball.
Oh gosh, it was crazy.
So
the hard thing as a parent, let me add this first real quick. My kid, they had this kid version that they set up at the kid Halloween thing that they do every year in Navasota. The girls went through happily. Dante didn't understand. He was so young. He was like, "But I want to go with sister. I gotta go with sister." And then he cried and he was so scared and he just ran. So
you never know. You never know how people are going to respond. Some of the people that we think are going to be an easy scare, like even like some of the small ones. Of course, when the littles come through, we don't go full on, with them. And last year we had bracelets. We had the red bracelets and purple bracelets, which let people choose their path, so to speak. The red ones took them through the more bloody, gory stuff, and the purple had a different pathway that they avoided all that. So we don't like throwing all that in your face if that's not what you're there for. So we kind of like to try to tailor, but sometimes we have little kids go through that are just like, "Yeah, cool. And then an adult go through that comes out and they're like, everything scares them. You know what I mean? So you never know what responses you're going to get.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. So now, since we brought Dante up, I think Jenny knows what we're doing here.
And you found the picture. Yay.
Aww.
We have questions by little guy Dante.
Oh. Love it.
Since you write the lore for a lot of your characters and you know what your characters like that make their own, he wanted to know what their favorite weapons are for the haunt.
Oh, okay. Well, it's different each year, Dante, because we have a different story each year. in a different place, in a different timeline, and we have different characters. But last year, Selena, she was our main character. Her name was Selena Line, and she had a whole workshop full of a lot of sharp things like knives and hatchets and all sorts of things like that she used to make her dollies. And so her favorite thing was a really large chopper knife that she kind of carried around with her and chased people. Our toy soldier, did he have a weapon? I can't remember if he even had a weapon.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he had a weapon. The year that we were his face. The year that he was one of the only clown that we had in at the carnival, he had a big club that had like a something really creepy on the end that had a lot of sharp points on it, and that was his favorite toy. And then our the fire lady, her favorite weapon was fire that she used. So it just depends. Each year we had
Greg. Greg's our favorite.
Greg's the favorite. The year that we did the Rougarou, we had a voodoo queen that not the voodoo queen. That would have been amazing. But hers was her she had spells and she had a cauldron and she had all those things, and that was probably her favorite thing. So it depends on which year and what the theme is, but everybody has a different type of weapon that they're partial to.
That is awesome. He wants to know for the next one. He likes to ask this of everybody: dentist's office, random person on the street, every haunter he gets to talk to. What is your favorite Pop-Tart?
I like the strawberry ones, actually, with the frosting on the top.
S'mores.
What's Dante's favorite?
The chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts.
Oh, okay.
Used to be Oreo, now it's fudge.
Well, you have to roll with the different, don't lock yourself into just one flavor.
Oh, no.
Grandma.
What
Yeah.
are your favorite monster?
Mine? What's your favorite? What's your favorite monster? I like a lot of monsters.
Humans.
Ooh.
Humans?
They're the scariest. They're the
yeah.
scariest monsters.
I like that answer.
I would probably say Dracula. I love the classics, like in the creature features when you have the Wolfman, Swamp Thing, and you have Frankenstein, but I think I have just always loved the lore of Dracula. And so I think he would be my favorite, and that's probably why this year's haunt is kind of going to be in that realm of that little sphere of lore.
That is awesome.
I like Dracula, not Nosferatu. Dracula specifically.
Oh.
Do you have in the past, have you had any cartoon characters as haunt characters?
Not on purpose. Not yet. I have in my little notebook, I have ideas. And in one of those ideas, I'm kind of thinking about taking, like, you got to be careful in the way you do it. So we would take maybe some Disney type movies and of course make them like the Temu Disney. So it's not Disney, but when you're in it, oh, this is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, this is Cinderella. But taking some different ones like that in each scene and spookifying it. So completely kind of rewriting the story of that fairy tale or that, that Disney princess or that whatever, and spookifying it and retelling that tale in a room. So in that case, we will have some types of cartoon characters played by
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I'm not seeing those. But
Steamboat Willie. He is now up, and anybody can use him.
Ah.
I think Winnie the Pooh just came off too. That's why they made that.
And
spook.
Mickey Mouse was next after that.
Yep,
Yeah, they're making
yep.
all the scary movie, the horror
Plus
flicks with.
Pinocchio, and there is a whole trilogy that is going to go through this whole world.
I am here for it because there's nothing creepier than those
Walt
puppets
Disney.
and marionettes. Well, okay, if you want to go there, but
Wizard of Oz #2. Just saying. That was
Yeah.
some creepy characters, and it wasn't trying to be.
Oh my gosh, the Wheelers. Oh, Return to Oz is one of my top. It's in my top 10, and the Wheelers are incredible. I've even kind of thrown away, how can we incorporate some Wheelers into our haunt? But I don't know, maybe one day.
Dude, seriously, read all the stories because he tried his hardest to make it scary for the kids and the creatures he put in there.
And I mean, successfully.
Oh yeah.
They're creepy.
And
I love creepy.
Us too. Oh gosh, yes. His last question
So Dante's
was,
got
what is your
one
favorite
more
stuffed
question,
animal?
doesn't he?
Yeah. His last,
Okay.
because he had 5.
Oh, Dante's question. He's got lots of questions. Inquisitive. Love it.
Oh yeah, he wanted to know what your favorite stuffed animal was.
Oh man, mine. What was yours? Do you even have one? He has a farm kid. He had to work from the time he was out of diapers.
Pork chops. Stuffed pork chops.
Farm kids, they can't play. They have to get to work real quick. No stuffed animals for the farm kids. They have to get out there and work a full day's labor. I'm joking. I kind of.
What was Caden's?
Caden's was that Bernstein bear, the mama Bernstein bear.
What is he called?
Jelly bean. It came out of a claw machine. But mine growing up, I don't know. I had a Cabbage Patch when the Cabbage Patch. I'm old, so it was like the very beginning of the Cabbage Patch thing happened. I think on my 9th birthday or my 10th birthday, which lets you know how old I am. And I wanted one of those things so bad. No. I take it back. It was the corn silk Cabbage Patches that came out on my 9th or 10th. They had like the hair that was like real and not yarn. And I still have her. So I still have the corn silk. She had red hair, and so I loved her for a really long time. Before that, I was really into the little strawberry shortcake dolls and Barbies. So those aren't really stuffed animals, but those were the toys that I liked to play with growing up until I've got my corn silk Cabbage Patch.
That's awesome. I'll tell you, without a doubt, I've had nothing but a enjoyable experience with you guys, and I thank you guys very much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you.
It sounds like you have a wonderful crew, and I apologize if anybody can hear the puppy in the background, but the puppy is new and everybody is out of the house and the puppy wants attention.
It's lonely.
It's got the other 2 dogs. I don't know why, but I do want to thank you, and absolutely please let us know if you're going to go to Texas Hunters Convention. Because if you do go to Texas Hunters Convention, would you mind coming back on and just doing a convention roundup?
Oh, yeah, we'd love to.
Well,
we actually will be there because guess what? Texas Hunters Convention always had plugs and gives away free tickets and does all the things. Well, out of the crew that went last year, they sent out a little survey. So here's a plug to always follow up and do those surveys because we won 2 VIP tickets for this coming year's hunt. So
that is absolutely awesome.
And we of course went VIP last year, and now it's like the only way I think we will ever go is VIP. But yeah, but we will be there. So we would love to.
And we also have had a person on here. His name is Troy. And Troy thought it would be fun to say that he was going to he bought some property and he was going to do a haunted house started by himself, and he was going to go through all the processes on TikTok and TikTok didn't get taken down as much as he thought. So every time I see something from Troy, I ask him how the haunted house is going. So if you see my dear buddy Troy,
are we talking about the haunted tours, Troy?
Oh
That
yeah,
we did one of his classes the year before last, 2023. Him and his a friend of his, they did on how to film and take pictures and stuff of your haunt and all of that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course they're on the floor because they have a booth for their haunted tours that we've talked about so many times, and we need to just do it because we end up forgetting about it. But during the moment, we're like, "Oh, we need to do this. This sounds so awesome." But yeah, so we took a class that Troy gave in 2023.
By the way, Troy does have a competition, and I don't know if it's going to continue, but the competition is the Home Haunters competition.
Yeah.
So make sure that you guys submit your stuff into Troy.
I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat, but my problem is filming content. My problem is filming content and having the time to do that because I've got like a million irons in the fire, and content's usually the last thing on my mind. And so you can tell that it's the last thing on my mind when I actually film things. So I have watched their awards. They're funny. They're hilarious. The whole thing. But yeah, they put up a whole lot of really great home hunters. A lot of them are display oriented hunts that I've seen. Mm-hmm.
And I'm very excited just to see everything that gets posted into them, and I love talking to Troy about different stuff. But yeah, I'm going to absolutely insist that anybody that sees Troy at the convention, make sure that Troy knows that his haunted house was a TikTok exclusive, and I'm holding him accountable for it. Not only am I holding him accountable for it, I'm going to make sure that I send this video to Troy so he knows that it's coming towards him.
We're going to be looking for him. Where's he at? Where's he at?
There is going to be bracing for impact, Troy. You're a wonderful guy and a heck of a prankster and this and that. And let me just tell you right now, him and a couple others actually won the competition for best costume at the Texas Haunters Convention party when they showed up as 3 skeletons.
Do you remember that?
Lowe's,
it's like the Home Depot skeleton.
That was them.
That was them. Yeah.
Yep, that was Troy and a couple other haunters that we've had on here on the show. We've seen the pictures of this. And I just love it when haunters get to talk to other haunters and they're like, yeah, I know this person. Yeah, I know this person. So Troy just got a message saying, here's the show. And he's going to ask me, well, what's so special about this one? Well, he's down in Texas. You're down in Texas.
Yeah.
Troy needs to pay attention and see what's going on with your haunt. And if he gets a chance, I'm sure that he would love to come through if he's not that busy, but haunting is a really busy time for all haunters.
It is. And we don't get to visit and see everybody because that's our busy time. So, yeah.
So, real quick, before we end this, I need to know how many weeks you guys operate, what days you operate, and usually what time frames.
Okay, we're really quick on this one because HOA and we have to play nice. We're open the weekend before Halloween, just like the Friday and the Saturday. We've done Sunday once, but Friday and Saturday definitely, and then on Halloween. I have to play nice with the HOA so they don't take my baby away. So that's the only times we're open, and we do a low scare on Halloween. Like we do the regular show, the Friday and the Saturday, and it runs from 7 to 11. 11 starts the noise ordinance on weekdays or weekends. And then on Halloween night, depending on if that's a weekday or weekend, determines the time. But we do low scare for all the littles to come through. Scare actors are sometimes in there, but they're just like, hi, happy Halloween. And we don't have any of the scary stuff going. Of course, it's still light, so the haunt is lit inside. We don't have any darkness or any strobes. We don't even run the fog. We don't even run the fog for the littles because that's scary sometimes for them. And so we do that from 5:30 to 7 o'clock is low scare on Halloween, and then from 7 to 10 if it's a weekday, 11 if it's a weekend on Halloween.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And we're on all the socials pretty much as Spooked on Spurlock, so we're easy to find.
So if you
If
guys
you look
are
in the above and or below, you'll be able to find. They used a version of Linktree, Flow something, but you can find the link to all their stuff on that in the above or below or wherever links go when you're watching the video on what app you're on.
So that's awesome. That's how you guys are going to be able to find these wonderful haunt owners. And yeah, I know it's home haunts, but it doesn't matter because they are part of the haunted house industry here in the wonderful United States. And we're really glad that we had them on. And you know, Jenny, I hope that you get an opportunity to go over and go see them sometime. But you know, Texas is a big state.
We're big, yeah. You can drive all day and not get through the state. So yep.
So I hope that everybody had a wonderful show, and we're going to say our goodbyes. And if there is any information that you guys would like to be contacted at, where can people find you too?
Well, on all of our socials there, you can DM us there. We do have an email that I'm not great at checking. So it's better to just, if anyone wants to contact us on the socials, because that email may sit in there for a really long time. And then I'm like, oh, we have an email. So on our socials is the best place to contact us for any questions or whatever.
Okay, that's awesome. So basically you're saying that Steve would have been totally long and gone dead by the time that you found your letter?
It very well could be, yeah. So sorry, Steve.
All right, Friday, where can we find you?
Oh, I'm at the usual places. You can find me at Fake Horror. You can find me at Owlite, at Friday's Library with the Blue Box. And, of course, if you actually want to read what I write, I have an author page under Jennifer Elliott.
That's awesome. So I can officially say that you can find me this Friday and this Saturday. And today is February 12th. So you'll be able to find me February 14th on Friday and February 15th on Saturday down at Hell's Dungeon. And boy, I can't wait to see you all. And trust me, like we said, if you can't scare them, you got to entertain them. And me throwing chicken bones at you just might be a good entertainment for me, at least.
Sounds like a party.
You can find me down at Hell's Dungeon until I think July. And if I'm correct about this, June. My bad, June. You can find me at a different haunt, and it's one of the other cousins, because there might be a rumor that June 13th, Haunted Town Hall in Lafayette's going to be open. It's not been confirmed 100%, but we all know, if you're a friend of Chainer's Field of Screams, you know one cousin lives down in the south in Dayton and one cousin lives in Lafayette. But you can always find me here on the Owlite Network. You can find me on Facebook, but no one ever wants to talk to me on Facebook, right? You can find me on TikTok.
You can find him at Fake Horror now.
You can even find me at Fake Horror, yes. And they took a picture of me and they put me in some of the stuff. I don't know what I've done. I sent Friday one thing, and they said that they loved it, and now they want more and more and more. So yes, I guess I'm starting to be an author also. So hey, we thank you guys very much for joining us on this episode of Chainer's Haunted Secrets. We love you guys so very much, and we're enjoying all the wonderful company that people have popped in, told us, and we hope that you come see us here once again here in 2 weeks, where we're going to talk to Nate. And Nate is one of the winners from the Ohio Haunters Association Outstanding Haunter Award. And he actually, it's kind of funny because he's from Haunted Town Hall, and I didn't even think about that. We're going to talk to him because he's a pretty good buddy, and you know what? I want to talk to him because he's in the industry. So I hope you guys all have yourself a great one, and please don't forget to smile.